Hello everyone, this is part 4 of What If Naruto Was Saved, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Naruto, Hinata, Haku. Get up now. Hachibi says, knocking on the door to Naruto's room. I know you're all in there, and I know what you've done. I don't really care one way or another, but I need you up now. All three of the room's occupants groaned. Fine, I'll get up, Naruto says. He gently tried to get out from where he had fallen asleep, below the two girls, but it was just not working and the girls weren't letting him go. Come on, let me go. If I don't, Sensei will just come in and force me out. No, we're going to keep you here till we have to let you go, Hinata and Haku said together. They then both go down to K him. Then the door opens, revealing Hachibi walking towards them. One last chance, let him go, he says seriously. The girls get off of Naruto and cover themselves. Naruto just stands up and walks to the shower. Good, Hachibi says, turning around and leaving. The girls then follow Naruto and shower with him. About 20 minutes later, all three of them walk into the kitchen to see only Hachibi. Everyone else was either not awake, or, Naruto looks at the clock, it was 12 p.m. They had already left. Hachibi, why did you wake us up so late? Naruto asks, wandering to the cupboards to find something to eat. Only finding cereal, he brings it out for everyone. Because, you need strength for what I will be teaching you, and it was the easiest way to make Kakashi let you be trained by me. Also, you will be in the Chunin exams. That's the only noteworthy thing he would have told you, Hachibi states, leaning backwards trying to counsel a smile, and you know when he smiles nothing good is about to happen. Soon they were finished eating and Hachibi leads them to the shop which Naruto and Hinata had ordered their swords. They were in now, of course, and they paid for them and strapped them on their waists before proceeding to where Hachibi had originally planned to go, which was a gated forest. Jump over the gate, I will meet you there, Hachibi says, jumping over the gate with his students following him. As they land on the other side, there are many out-of-place creatures all around, ranging from giant bugs to mutant bears. What the hell is this place? Naruto says in disbelief, looking at the horrors in front of him, feeling Hinata and Haku inch backwards and grasp his hands, with him meeting them halfway. This is the advanced forest of death. You will be here until the exam starts. Fight, love, eat, hunt, whatever, there is no escape and no help. You three alone face this challenge. There is 3 days until the exam begins, so you have 2 in here, Hachibi says. He jumps to the wall and does some hand seals, and then a barrier of red appears around the whole forest. I cannot go in, nor you cannot come out until 2 days. I cannot release the barrier until then. Good luck. With this he jumps away. What the hell, Hachibi? Naruto screams out, but it fell on deaf ears. With Kakashi, Sasuke, and Gaara. Kakashi, Gaara, and Sasuke were standing in a field, waiting for 3 people that weren't going to show up, but nevertheless, they were waiting, sparing and solo training to try and pass the time until Kakashi, they will not show up. I told you Hachibi has other plans for them. Just tell Sasuke that we're entered into the Chunin exams and I will bring the forms to Naruto, Hinata, and Haku, Gaara states, starting out a little irritated. But you two still need another member. They can go in, but we need teams of 3 to enter, Kakashi says, by chance not reading his beloved book. So, Gaara questions, just hurry up and find another. It does not matter who, just make it soon, so that we can try and forge a team. Sasuke ignores them all, trying to master his bloodline. He got it in wave, but I didn't feel like writing about him. He only had 1 coma mark in each eye. Not enough. His brother had 3. And the Tsukiyomi. He can't defeat him like this. Okay, I'll find someone. You two practice, Kakashi says, walking away. Damn, where am I going to find someone? For the rest of the day he searches for another person, asking the other trainers and eventually going to the Hokage. Back with Sasuke and Gaara, Sasuke was still trying to master his bloodline with no success, and Gaara was just standing there watching his futile attempts. Sasuke, try and see me, Gaara says, making Sasuke look up just to see Gaara disappear. Sasuke looked all around trying to find him until he hears, I am just circling you, Sasuke. If you cannot keep up to this speed, then Lee will destroy you. Then help me get to that point, Sasuke growls, biting back his pride for once. Tell me when you can see me. With that said, Gaara starts to slow down his speed. Eventually Sasuke says, and Gaara stays at that speed for a while, before he goes a bit faster. Try and see me now. Sasuke tries with all his might, and soon enough he can now see Gaara. I see you, he says, only to have Gaara increase his speed and then repeat the process for the whole day, well actually until Sasuke passed out from loss of chakra. With Naruto, Hinata, and Haku. I don't think he's joking, Naruto-kun. Let's find a shelter and some food, Hinata says grimly. Her companions nod in agreement, and together they walk around the forest, avoiding as many of the creatures as possible. After about 20 minutes they find a cave. This would serve as a good shelter, but, Haku says, looking around for signs of an inhabitant of the cave, something else is most likely already claimed it. They slowly walked into the cave, hoping that nothing was inside, until a huge worm, easily 50 times a normal snake's size, emerged from the ground. It then charged at him. The three run out of the cave and jump off to the sides right when it emerges from the cave. This commotion brought the attention of 3 bears that were using the cave as a house. All 3 of the bears attack the worm, C, S and the works. To no avail, they split the worm in half, but now there is 2 of them. The humans gulped, and they all started to run away, knowing they couldn't win this battle. Lucky for them, the creatures were too busy fighting each other to notice. That was way too close. Naruto says, panting with his back to a tree, only to have the tree grasp him. What the hell? Haku does multiple seals and jumps into the air, trying not to hit Naruto with the jutsu, and said, Kaiten, Karyu Enden no Jutsu, incarnating Naruto's attacker, and burning him a bit. Thanks Haku-chan, Naruto says, now laying on the ground waiting for his burns to heal, but next time maybe aim a little farther off. I'm sorry Naruto, Haku says, rushing to him, activating a healing jutsu, with Hinata right by her side, finishing healing the burns that were almost gone already. Feel better? She smile. You're a lot better, now that both of you are here, Naruto responds, sitting up and both of them, one at a time, making them blush. Maybe we should find a shelter now, Hinata says, obviously worrying about their safety. Of course they all agreed and set off in a random direction, hoping to find some kind of shelter outside of the forest. Don't you think that was a little harsh? Sanbi asks Hachibi, whose arms she is currently in. No, they can survive that alone if they really try. This forest it meant for Anbu training and they're easily Anbu level. Hachibi answers, walking away from the forest. In 2 days, I will return, he adds, and after a long pause he says, has anyone gotten word of Akatsuki's defeat? No, not a soul knows, Sanbi says, snuggling into her life-sized plushie. Could you forget about business for a while, and enjoy life with me? She asks, smiling mischievously. I'm sorry dear, but there is so much yet to do, before we are ready, Hachibi says grimly, putting her down. He then walks away. Maybe so, but if you can't enjoy life, what point is there to protect it? Sanbi thinks, following him. Maybe I can find a way through your guard. She hides her chakra and attempts to follow him the whole day, unnoticed. With Gaara and Sasuke. Gaara is standing over Sasuke's unmoving body. No, Sasuke is not just tired. All of his chakra has been depleted, well, nearly all. This is the scene Kakashi walks in on. Horrified something happened, he rushes over to them. Do not worry Kakashi, he is merely tired. With my crude way of helping him master his bloodline, he will also gain a lot of chakra, Gaara says in his usual unemotional voice. He looks at where Kakashi had come from and sees a girl with long black hair, pupil-less light lavender eyes, in Hyuga outfit. Who is the Hyuga? I am Hyuga Hanabi, heiress to the clan. Don't ever have such little respect for any Hyuga. Hanabi says, darkly not liking anything to do with this. She should be training, not going to some stupid Chunin exam, with some weak genin. I will show as much respect as I feel like it, and you are not the heiress, Gaara says, still in an emotionless voice. You dare question me? Hanabi says, getting angry now. She snarls at him. Kakashi, you expect us to form a team with one who is so suck up that she does not even sense the power of her teammate before insulting them. Gomen Gaara, but I could not find anyone else, Kakashi says sheepishly, taking out his book. Don't talk about me like I'm not here. Hanabi shouts at him, neither of them even caring. I will see what I can do about this predicament. May I have the others' forms? Gaara says. Kakashi does say anything, he just hands them to Gaara, who puts them away in his pouch. Try not to K her, will you, Gaara? Kakashi says, disappearing in a puff of smoke. Hanabi, there are a few things you should know about this team. Sasuke is the last Uchiha, he is weak. You are supposable the heiress to Hyuga, you are weaker. I am the Jinchuriki to the Ichibi, stronger than you but weaker than the rest on this team. There are 3 other members, who are taking the exam in their 3-man squad. They are also Jinchuriki, to the Yonbi, the Rokubi, and the Kyubi. They are the strongest members of the team. You think I am weak, but it's you who is, Hanabi says, not caring what else he had said. She charges at him ready to strike his heart with Uruken, only to see sand in her path. There is no point in fighting your allies, especially when you know nothing about them, Gaara says, bringing his hand up. Hanabi is instantly encased in sand. I could crush your body right now, if I so choose. He then tightened the grip of his sand to prove his point, before releasing her. If you did K me, you would have to face the wrath of my father, and he's not very forgiving, Hanabi says victoriously. Your father hold no power over me, nor does your clan, and if I were to release the Shukaku, nothing in this village could stop him, Gaara says, except my senseis, he adds in his mind. Whatever, I'll see you at the exams. With that, Hanabi walks off towards the Hyuga estate, to train much more in hopes of defeating Gaara. In the advanced forest of death, 2 people were walking, back to back, down a row of trees, looking all around for any signs of an attack. As the both look the other way, a giant worm pops out of the ground. Both of the humans jump away just in time to avoid its attack. Vines start to rapidly overgrow it and bind it to the earth, with even more coming up to make sure it stays down. A call of Kaiten, Kayu Enden no Jutsu, burns the vines to ashes and K the worm, only to have 3 more appear in its place, all of them charging at where the flames had come from, only to run into a thick wall of vines, which they soon destroyed. But as they reached the casting area, there was no one there. Vines came off the trees wrapping around the worms, who all buried, avoiding the icicles that were thrown at them. Damn, they're getting smart. Haku crosses, jumping away from her spot to where Hinata is. Any ideas? She asks quietly. A few, she says, doing many hand seals. She says, Doton, crushing earth jutsu, all of the holes made by the worms closed. One could faintly hear the squeals of death from the worms, Hinata in now slightly panting. That's a powerful jutsu, Haku says in awe. Why didn't you use it before? Cause it takes a lot of chakra, she says, getting her breath back fully. She jumps down with Haku following, and they continue walking like they were before. Think Naruto-kun's okay, Haku says in a worried voice, hoping their plan wasn't in vain. He'll be okay, Hinata responds. He's never let anything stop him before, she adds, trying to reassure not only Haku but herself too. In another part of the forest, we find a blonde man walking towards a stream casually, looking everywhere for a possible attack. As he nears the river, he pulls out 3 canteens and fills them before putting them back and starting to walk back the way he came, only to have a wolf, that sort of looked like a werewolf, jump on him, pinning him to the ground. The wolf opens his jaws and takes off Naruto's head, or so it seems. Naruto disappears, and in his place a log which now has a huge chunk out of it. Naruto, standing in a tree, pulls out some kunai and throws them at the wolf, doing a few seals, he says. Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, the kunai he threw multiply into dozens. They all rain down on the wolf, who s at them, and they are all destroyed. The wolf jump at Naruto, who unsheathes his sword, blocking his attack. Let's see what I can do with this thing, Naruto says, pushing the mutant wolf away from him. He jumps to the ground to get better footing. The wolf lands beside him on its 2 hind legs, s at Naruto with one of its C. The werewolf roars in agony, bringing its other C to hit Naruto. Naruto jumps away, letting the werewolf have both of its hands back. He draws the sword to the right of his body with the blade tilted across him, holding the hilt with 2 hands. The werewolf yanks out the kunai and runs at Naruto on all 4s. Naruto jumps over him and kicks his back, but before he did, he tries his best to activate his blood limit, which he never really mastered. The werewolf turns around and stands up, not affected by the attack. Damn, Naruto curses. He'll have to try harder to activate it next time. For now, he charged the werewolf, ready to s sideways. His sword was blocked, but a fist hit the werewolf in the face, sending it back a few feet. K the werewolf. Well, I guess we have food too. Naruto walks back to the camp they had set up, the werewolf on his shoulder, to see his 2 other companions already starting a fire, looking as they did when they got here, and not even tired. Hey Naruto-kun, you made it back, Haku says, smiling happily. You got food too. Of course I'm back, Haku-chan. Did you think I was gonna get eaten out there? Naruto says, arriving at the fire he sets down the wolf. It actually attacked me when I was coming back, so I guess I got lucky, he adds smiling. He then takes out 2 canteens and hands them to the girls that were around the fire. I still can't believe Sensei just left us here, Hinata says, taking a drink of the well-deserved water and signing after. At least this place isn't as bad as it looks. Yeah, Haku and Naruto say. Haku sits D. In the trees a humanoid figure watches the 3 of them frowning. When will they learn not to intrude on my space? He thinks, growling slightly. I'll give them a day before I attack, leave before then. He says quietly, but the last part of his sentence carries on the wind and Naruto hears what he has said. The humanoid walks away. Did you hear that? Naruto questions the 2 who were, essentially, leaning on him. No, the both say, a little on edge, as Naruto has better hearing than both of them. With Gaara and Sasuke. Well, Gaara says, looking at where Hanabi left, then to Sasuke, I will have to bring him to his house then. Gaara picks up Sasuke and walking towards the Uchiha clan estate. When even just one of them is alive, there is still a chance at revival, as such they left the mansion standing. On Gaara's arrival, he opens the door and walks to the couch which just happened to be close by. He sets Sasuke down and then walks back towards his house. Gaara, where are the forms? Said person here upon his arrival. Looking to the voice, he sees none other than Hachibi standing right outside the house with Sanbi asleep in his arms with a content smile. They are with me, Gaara says, taking out the forms and handing them to Hachibi, who somehow managed to grasp them. What have you done with Naruto, Hinata, and Haku? Gaara asks with interest in his voice. They are in the advanced forest of death, Hachibi says, walking over to the door. Oh dear, they hear the Hokage's voice. I came to check on them. That place is off limits to all. A person who is more powerfully than even the Sannin has chosen that has his domain. Worry fills his voice and Hachibi almost hits himself. Damn, how did I not remember? I can't get him out until 2 days. The sun was glowing bright in the happy sky, oblivious to the dangers that lurked in the shadowing forests, all different creatures battling for life, food, territory, or even, in one humanoid's case, pleasure. Solitude was his escape from the inhumanities of the humans. But now, they have invaded his space, they have killed his creatures, and today would be his revenge. The invaders, slowly one by one, walked out of their hut, which they created out of his forest, and walked down to their fireplace. Sleepily they started a fire, and tried to wake up fully, by whatever means necessary. If they were caught off guard, it could mean the end of their lives. Good morning, then last one out of the hut said, who happened to be Naruto as he sat next to the girls. I don't know what's so good about it, but, Haku says, mornings had never been her thing. Even when she was a hunter nin with her mother, she always made her mother let her sleep till like 12 p.m. Of course her mother never complained. She was never much for mornings either and was happy to have an excuse to sleep in. A figure of speech, Haku-chan, Hinata interjected. She was fully awake always. Had she been able to wake up fast, mostly because of her past, but she didn't want to think of that, so she chose to simply take a drink of what was left of her water. I think we need some more water, Naruto-kun. Yeah, I'll get it, Naruto says, picking up the canteens. But you owe me, he says with a slight smirk. He then takes off to the river as fast as he can and comes back with his hair soaking wet. All of which took almost 15 minutes. What on earth did you do down there, Naruto-kun? Haku says, finally able to pull herself fully to the waking world. I needed to wake up, so I dunked my head in the water, said person responds, smiling sheepishly. He then down next to the girls, giving one canteen to each of them. As Naruto passes one to Hinata, she grasps his hand as he hands it to her and pulls him down on her. Haku smirks. Is that his payment? She says, making them both blush. Just outside the forest, everyone in position. A figure in black with an Anbu mask on asks over a microphone. There were 2 others behind him. Team 2 in position, he hears back. Team 3 also in position. Another voice came on the ratio. I'm ready anytime. Hachibi's voice echoes on the intercom. We have 12 hours until this barrier come down. Make yourselves comfortable. Good. Be on guard at all times. Clearly the Anbu captain states, preparing for a long day. At Team 7's training ground, Gaara is standing in the middle of the field lazily looking around, hoping his new team would arrive soon. He had been waiting for almost an hour now. He didn't think Sasuke should be that tired, and Hanabi was probably just being the stuck-up Hyuga she always was and not showing up because they were too weak. Almost another hour later, Gaara sees Hanabi walking closer to him with Sasuke a ways behind her. It takes then 10 minutes just to get to him, almost like they didn't want to approach him for some reason, but as they got there they both glared at each other. Good lord, that's why. Okay, enough of this petty clan rivalry, we have a Chunin exam to prepare for, Gaara says. Don't whine, it annoying, Gaara adds almost as a last thought. He quickly drilled them to try and find their weaknesses and strengths, knowing they wouldn't admit to even their closest friend their weakness, let alone their clan's rival. It takes him half of the day to get them to cooperate and then let themselves be subjected to his drills. The rest of the day they too just did what Gaara said was best, always trying to outdo the other at every turn, but they usually failed to humiliate anyone but themselves. Okay, I'm leaving, Gaara says, turning towards his house from his current position. You two are annoying even when you're just training. Instead of walking like they thought he was going to do, he disappears in a swirl of sand and reappears at Hachibi's location. Why are you here? The demon asks, not needing to look at him to know it was Gaara. The Uchiha and the Hyuga are annoying together, Gaara says in a rather annoyed tone and leans on the wall. What's going to happen? He asks, referring to the predicament Naruto, Hinata, and Haku were in. Who knows, Gaara, he responds in a tired voice, but together they should do fine against him. He adds, going back to his usual unemotional tone, go train, you'll need it soon. How long until my Aoshu-sama-s? Gaara asks, looking off into the forest. How can I train when no one who is stronger than me is available? The Chunin exams, maybe let run its course, Hachibi answers. He brings up his hands into a seal and two more of him appear. Train with my bunshins. The cage bunshins walk, with Gaara, to a training ground somewhere nearby. Within the forest. I can't, Naruto says, backing against a tree so he didn't have to look behind him. My sensei set up barrier, he finishes. This gets the other person really mad. Then he says, growling. He appears in front of Naruto, looking like a werewolf. No features could be made out for his inert body was cloaked in shadows. The only thing that Naruto could see was when his arms came towards him in an attempted to hit him. Naruto dunks under the punch only to be kneed in the gut and set flying through the tree, coughing up B as he hits the last tree, which was 5 in a row. The black cloaked figure appears above him with an arm extending. Naruto move it to the side of his body, just skimming the side of his ribcage, nearly cracking a few. Naruto throws a fist up to see the other person not even try to block it. Naruto's punch lands full on, doing no damage. The other person uses his remaining hand and grasps Naruto's wrist. He puts one leg on the ground he was about to hit, and spins Naruto around, letting go as he is almost vertical. Naruto into a tree, knocking the wind from his lungs and breaking his right arm, which he had brought in to try and lessen the hit. He falls to the ground, laying on his back. It would have to be this way if you just leave, the shadow werewolf says, not noticing Naruto doing on-handed hand seals. The shadow werewolf walks up to Naruto slowly, enjoying that he'll finally be rid of the humans that have intruded on his forest, until he feels something hit him, hand in the stomach, winded him. Looking around, he can find nothing to suggest they attacked him until he looks at Naruto, who still had his hand in a seal. Don't underestimate me, Naruto yells, standing up slowly, red chakra spreading towards his wounds to heal them, and he runs at his enemy, his arm nearly healed, and a red orb starting to form in its hand. As he reaches his enemy, he is able to bring up his arm and throw the spinning orb at him. Team, Naruto says, slowly standing up as the Kyuubi's chakra goes about healing him. Persistent, just the shadow werewolf says, charging at him, reaching him within seconds. He throws out a punch, hitting him full on, but he feels a hit on his C, which causes him to collapse, and Naruto is sent flying again. When he lands, he unleashes more of the Kyuubi's chakra to heal his wounds faster. Knowing that he will be paralyzed for only a short amount of time, he runs towards the camp. If all three of them were there, they'll stand a better chance than getting attacked one by one. Naruto-kun, what's wrong? Hinata asks as he runs out of the camp and towards her. As he gets there, he slows down and hugs her, panting. Someone attacked me. He is stronger than me, he spoke, Naruto says after catching his breath. This brings the girls to full alert. He beat Naruto. He must be strong, maybe more than we can handle, both Haku and Hinata think. To beat someone at Anbu level is rather difficult, but to be a Jinchuriki at Anbu level now, that is something to be weary of. Unless Naruto didn't draw on the Kyuubi's power, then it would be normal, but they were taught to use the demon's power when need be. We can't split up now, Haku says. She then walks over to the pair and joins in on the hug, but we still need food, even more so now. Of course they all agree with that and pry themselves off of each other before going, together, the opposite way of where Naruto came from in hopes of finding food. Back at the battle site the shadow picks itself up from where he had fallen. What the hell did you do to me? He screams outraged before following Naruto's scent to arrive just before they all left together. Growling in frustration he jumps back into the trees planning on his next form of attack. Outside. How much longer Zakimarui? The Anbu captain asks over the comm link. We have 6 hours yet, keep your patience, there'll be enough fun when the time's up. Hachibi responds, now sitting on the ground with his back resting on the wall that encases the forest. Let's hope this isn't in vain. Naruto, unlock your blood limit fully. Back with Hinata, Haku, and Naruto. Haku, Naruto, and Hinata came back 20 minutes later to the campsite, which is destroyed, all but the fire was trashed, almost as if they wanted to fight them at full strength, but also warning them not to angry him, and to leave now while they could. Of course the barrier is still up so they physically can't leave, but the shadow werewolf didn't care, not did he try to see if they were telling the truth. To him one human's death is like K for food, who cares? My god, what the hell is he trying to do? Haku asks looking at the destruction. I don't know. Hinata says with a tinge of fear in her voice, let's just eat and get to the wall so that we'll be there when the time's up. They all agreed with that statement, and, when all of that is said and done, it's been about 30 minutes more, they quickly put out the fire and started to walk to the wall. About 10 minutes of walking and they're there ready to jump out as soon as the barrier is down. They're at the wall. The shadow werewolf thinks as he just appeared out of the shadows of the forest watching them, why aren't they leaving? He yells at them mentally. He would give them an hour longer, at which point if they did not leave his forest he would be forced to kill them all. But alas, they didn't leave. Why didn't they just leave? The shadow jumps down in front of the group, scaring most of them, making them jump up into fighting stances from their previously huddled position. What do you want? Haku asks coldly, readying her needles. I want you out. He screams at them, charging at the closest person, who happens to be Haku. She jumps back and throws the needles at him, all of which are deflected by his arm, only to hit and destroy the vines of his forest. Growling, he looks around for what caused him to move. What the hell? This is my forest, not yours. Naruto smirks, thinking, he thinks he has control of the forest, eh? He charges the shadow from behind the red orb, once again appearing in his hand, only this time it changes to a greener color as if absorbing his surroundings color. The shadow turns and swats away Naruto's hand this time, not wanting to repeat his mistake, only to have Naruto use the force to spin around and kick him in the face, making the shadow spin away from him as Naruto closes his hand. 10 Hakus appear around the shadow werewolf, who reaches out his arm and spins around, destroying all of the Mizu buncheons, releasing water all over the ground. Then another Haku appears, the real one, jabbing 3 needles towards the shadow, which jumps back avoiding the hit and throws out its leg, catching Haku off guard. She's sent backwards 7 feet. Hinata appears behind the shadow, Byakugan activated, stretching out her right arm, palm open. The shadow werewolf grabs her palm to block, not knowing what kind of an attack she was using. Instantly his arm falls limp, all of his nerves shattered by the overpowered Uroken strike. Hinata's other hand comes out to hit his C. What the F are you be? He yells at her, unable to attack, so he does the only sensible thing. He flees back into the forest, disappearing into the shadows that seem to live on him and the forest, to recover and rethink his strategy. Haku-chan, are you okay? Naruto asks, as he's the closest one to her. He picks her up from where she had fallen and brings her back to Hinata. I'm fine, Naruto-kun, there's no need to carry me, Haku says, trying to get Naruto to put her down. Though she likes him when people carry her after a battle, it makes her feel weak and angry, and right now she didn't want to go through that even if she knew that she could walk. But Naruto doesn't listen and continues carrying her. She resigns herself to her fate, unless she wanted to fight him, which she didn't right now. Haku-chan, want me to heal you? Hinata asks as they make it to her and Naruto puts her down. Well, it was more of Haku forcing her way out of Naruto's arms, but... Sure, Hinata-chan, Haku says. Hinata starts up her healing jutsu and heals what wounds Haku had got from the short battle. Arigato, Haku says after she was finished, which only took about 1 minute. Gomen Haku-chan, Naruto says, after a long time of trying to figure out what was wrong with her. This statement makes Haku look at him in surprise. For what? She asks, forgetting what had made her so upset just a while ago. 4. Thinking, making you think. You are weak, Naruto says, looking down in shame. But as he does this, Haku walks towards him and puts her hand under his chin, pulling his head upwards. It's okay, she says, and then K him, now anyways, she adds after, and then smiles, feeling Hinata hug her from behind and Naruto hug her too. Why do I feel like a sandwich? Haku says, making all of them laugh. From that point on they all found a comfortable place, pretty much on top of each other, but, to rest, the battle maybe have been short, but it was a lot more interesting than any others that they have had, for a long time anyways, not since they were training with the demons. Just who the hell is that guy anyways? Naruto says, not expecting an answer, knowing they were just as surprised as he was when it appears as he was. Haku and Hinata just cuddle closer to each other, and Naruto. It was going to be a while before he recovered from those wounds, mainly that last hit by Hinata. The battle took about 25 minutes. The winners sit in wait of the release of the barrier. Nothing could happen right. After that injury, I would take even Naruto at least 5 hours, without a major intervention by the Kyuubi, to heal fully. After that, they would surely not encounter him again. Outside. 4 hours and 30 minutes. Stop asking, Hachibi says into the microphone, answering the unsaid question of the Anbu captain. Roger, everyone, count for yourselves, the Anbu says back, trying to regain his pride. For 4 hours and 20 minutes nothing eventful happened, within or outside of the forest. Silence crept over the people waiting for the barrier. Nothing seemed to move. The air felt still, almost trying to avoid being breathed in. The tension was so thick. Only 10 minutes and then, all hell would break loose. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.